This is the Retro Gaming Boss. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the world of 8-bit beat-em-ups with a game that's near and dear to my heart, Double Dragon for the Sega Master System. But this isn't just any old review, since I've got a bit of a personal story about how it reminds me of some crazy days back in my childhood. So let's get into it. Double Dragon, released in 1988, is the OG of side-scrolling beat-em-ups. Originally released in the arcade, it then made its way onto a bunch of different home consoles, including the Master System. The premise is simple in this two-player brawler. You're Billy and Jimmy Lee, martial artist brothers who are out to rescue Billy's girlfriend, Marian, from a gang of street thugs. Games like this from the 80s didn't mess around. In the opening scene alone, those creeps walk right up to your girl in broad daylight and sock her in the gut. Knocking her unconscious, they drag her off to their lair. It's a ruthless start and provides more than enough motivation to make you hungry to dish out some street justice. Speaking of brothers, that actually brings me to a story. Like many of you, I've got an older brother, and while we were growing up, we often were at each other's throats. Not in a bad way, but in that kind of playful roughhousing, like, let's see who's tougher kind of way. Back in the day, we used to play fight and imitate professional wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, copying their signature moves while they beat down all challengers. This stoked our sibling rivalry about who was really the toughest. So when we got our hands on a Double Dragon cartridge, I couldn't wait to see if I could outdo him in the game the same way I tried to in real life. Me and my bro would spend hours together playing in co-op mode, taking turns as Billy and Jimmy. The cool part about playing with two players wasn't just about teaming up. It was about having a strategy and working together to fight off the endless thugs. We had to synchronize our moves and cover each other's backs. We also had to avoid accidentally bashing each other in the face, because you see, Double Dragon has a bit of a friendly fire issue. It's easy to land a spinning back kick straight to your brother's head if you weren't careful, which, let's be honest, we totally did on purpose sometimes. Yeah, no shame, I can't lie. Sneaking in a quick sucker punch once in a while felt really good, and then pretending like it was an accident while trying not to bust out laughing. Of course, the next time he'd do the same to me, but that's sibling rivalry again, right? Like the cheesy pro wrestling that we imitated as kids, the game was just another kind of comical and stupid fun that we enjoyed while we passed the time together during the summer months. Gameplay-wise, the Master System version obviously isn't as smooth as the arcade and has smaller, less detailed sprites, but still captured the essence of the game. The controls also feel a bit stiff at times, especially when you're trying to chain together a sweet combo, but that's part of the charm of these 8-bit classics, don't you think? The game doesn't hold your hand, so you really have to get down and dirty to just throw down and really earn your victory. But I've gotta admit, when I first played this on the Master System, I was a bit bummed out that it didn't match up to the arcade, especially with the constant flickering. But over time, I gained an appreciation of the game for what it was. It was still Double Dragon, and felt damn good to play, and that was enough for me. Especially being able to replay it endlessly at home, no longer having to feed the arcade cabinet any more quarters. As the grandfather of all brawlers, Double Dragon was a clear precursor to Capcom's Final Fight, and had a major influence on Sega's classic 16-bit follow-up with their Streets of Rage franchise. Playing it again today after all the years and seeing how it blazed a trail in the genre makes it even more special. For such an old-school retro game, one of the things that stands out for me is the variety of levels, fighting your way through urban slums and industrial areas to dark forests and the enemy base. And each stage brings new hazards and enemies that provide a constant challenge. Quick spoiler alert. Now if you battle all the way through to the final stage, you'll face off against Willy, the final boss. The fight's pretty tough since he can one-hit you with his gunshot, while you're left fighting for your life with just fists, headbutts, and flying kicks. When you finally put him down for good, it feels like a huge victory. I still remember the sense of relief and elation when we finally beat this game for the first time. And even though sometimes we didn't survive all the way to the end, we always had a great time brawling through the streets and talking so much smack. And aren't those the moments of what gaming with your family or friends is all about? Just when the final boss is blinking out of existence and you think the credits should roll, the best part of the game begins. All of your prior teamwork and protecting each other gets thrown out the window in an instant, when you and your bro get put into a straight-up death match, with Marian's affection going to the stronger man. And at this point, you really know that it is on. There's no fake-ass pro wrestling moves here.
Oh yeah!
It's pure mano-a-mano and skill against skill for who's gonna get the girl. I have to say, we had some pretty epic scraps here, and I'll always remember laughing and shouting at each other as we fought to the bitter end each time. So, my final thoughts? Double Dragon on the Sega Master System is a super entertaining and worthwhile trip back to some late 80s goodness. While it's not the best part of the arcade experience, it's still a solid beat-em-up that's definitely worth giving a go today. And trust me, if you've got a sibling that you roughhoused with, then why not press start on this game one more time? It might be just what you're looking for. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you enjoyed this game and review, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more feel-good retro gaming. Also be sure to share your favorite memories playing Double Dragon in the comments below. Alright everybody, this is the Retro Gaming Boss signing out, and I'll see you on the next one.